forgot to get my juice / fruit punch. And we are live with another episode of BS Busters. And before we go any further, let's have the lady introduce herself.
Sorry if you missed me, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. This is Jewel Rider, Eli Moonstar. Welcome you to the BS Busters End of the Week podcast. And we got some Sony and Nintendo news this round.
All right.
I should have went slower.
Kenoshi?
Hey, it's Kenoshi Abominito. Here, glad to be on another one of these BS Busters.
Okay, and this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters.
Some Sony and Nintendo news.
And we've got quite a bit of news to talk about. We've also got some really interesting topics to go on with. So, without much ado, let's get into it. Starting with our first topic, which is our, the Sony and Nintendo news, which is I guess we can begin with the Nintendo news. I guess you guys can give your thoughts on Paper Mario first. Whoever wants to go first, I gotta get something to drink.
Okay, for me, I'm hopeful that that's going to be better than what Color Splash is. Though then again, I've been hearing people say you should aim for 1,000-Year Door, and I say you're asking for a monkey's paw wish for that one. I mean, seriously, step by step.
What people fail to realize is that apparently Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door was the worst-selling Paper Mario. So they kind of had to reinvent the franchise. By reinventing it, they kind of had to stick with things that were familiar to most people. That were instead of sticking to a turn-based action system, they had to do something that was familiar. And I know that watered down the franchise greatly, as we've seen with Sticker Star and Color Splash, but this is looking to be somewhat promising. It looks like they're kind of trying. It looks like they're, kind of stepping back into the direction of,
I get what you're saying.
More characterizations of the
other characters.
The various different characters of the Mario universe. Like you see in this trailer, you saw Mario hang out with the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you hanging out with Bowser Jr. So it's nice to see, a bit of a mix up.
Yeah, I agree. Though, as I said, if people are wishing for the 1,000-Year Door, I'm telling them that that's a monkey's paw's wish. I mean, especially when you consider what we're going through right now. But if anything, I do hope that they do better than what Sticker Star offered. Though I see at least more things that they could take out of Sticker Star and put into the new game, rather than no, not Sticker Star, Color Splash. That's it. I see more promise with Color Splash's battle system that they could take out of and put into the new game than what Sticker Star had.
I disagree. I think I think Color Splash was trash.
Oh, come on! It's at least it's better than Sticker Star, and if anything, it gives you at least more options to work with than what Sticker Star just provided.
That is true. It is better. It is better than Sticker Star, but that's a very low bar to hurdle. That's like someone saying jump over this bar and they just throw a stick on the ground. Like, I mean, that's anything is better than that. I mean, you could literally take Mario characters and get some paper stock, paper card stock, and print that shit out and make a Paper Mario game using those figures and have more fun than Sticker Star. So that's not like really a high. That's not a mark of praise.
I know, but still, as I said, I at least give Color Splash more credit to being at least more possibilities to pull out of than what Sticker Star has.
Yeah, but that's a really low bar to hurdle. It's kind of like someone saying, it's like if Sticker Star was a test score, it would be a 0. Anything is better than a 0 because that means you didn't even take the test or you failed everything. So I mean, basically,
at least I consider Color Splash at least a C.
I would say a 70. It's a D minus. But I mean, compared to a 0, that's great. But I mean, that's a marked improvement. But still, it's not. It's like I can't. Well,
I'm gonna say it right now because I said it's at least a C, meaning that it's at least in the middle, not at the bottom, but definitely not the top.
The reason I say that the reason I put it at a D minus for me personally is because even though it's a step in the right direction, it still has an over casualized feel. You don't have partners. The level up system has been dumbed down for dumbasses who don't know how to do shit. Who don't want to really play an RPG. They just want to, do some simple, easy shit.
If you want that kind of feeling, play Final Fantasy VII Remix.
Well, no. See, here's the problem with here's why I'm very critical of the Paper Mario series as it is right now. We've had 5 games in this franchise, 2 of which were the first game was good. The first game was good. The second game was really good. Sticker Star is okay. I'm gonna say it right now. Sticker Star is an okay game. Sticker Star's combat and gameplay.
But Sticker Star is fucking trash, and you know it.
Well, I agree with you, and if you allowed me to explain why I said it was okay and not terrible, it's okay in that the storyline is really good. It's a really good storyline. The gameplay is not very good. The combat is not very good. The leveling up system is not very good.
So you're saying the only thing that saves Sticker Star is the story?
Yep.
You got less logic of lore than anything else that I ever heard from you.
Sticker Star. If the story in Sticker Star was shit, I would say Sticker Star would have been like a 50%. But because the story is actually really good, like it's really dark and gritty. For a Paper Mario game, the story, I would say Sticker Star has one of the best stories in the series, which is kind of sad because the story is really good, but everything else is not Sticker Star. Super Paper Mario. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Sticker Star. I confused. I'm sorry. Yeah. I confuse it. I mean Super Paper Mario. Super Paper Mario is okay. The combat is not very good. The gameplay is not very good, but the story is really good in Super Paper Mario. Then you get Sticker Star, which is just a 0. Like that game all around is just shit. Like, if it never existed, I don't think the Paper Mario series would be any worse. And then you have Color Splash, which is better than Sticker Star, but like I said, Sticker Star is a 0. Color Splash, basically, it's like it takes aspects from Sticker Star and adds a little bit more RPG to them, but not enough to make it, like, good. So it's like, if you look at all 5 games, it's like, okay, the first Paper Mario for the N64, if you take a step back and look at it in its compatriots, in its contemporary, so Final Fantasy VII, the Final Fantasies that were on the PlayStation 1 or on PC, no, it's not as good as those games. But for the N64 and for there to be as small as a library of RPGs on that system as it was, it's not that bad. I would say is it as good as what it's a spiritual successor to? Super Mario RPG? No, it's not. I'm not going to put it at that level. It's not that good. It's good, but it's not that good.
I was saying that if anything, the series is not too bad. The only thing that you have to really be ignoring in a sense would be Sticker Star, which would bring up the grades of of the series.
No,
but
the series is that bad though. That's the
not
problem.
by too much.
That's the problem. The series at this point, the series is that bad because here's the thing. The first game.
As I said, if the color splash wasn't, I mean, if Sticker Star wasn't involved, then then the grade would go up a good bit, but not too high.
I have to disagree with you on that one. I think it's still pretty. I think overall it's pretty bad. And as a matter of fact, I can do the grade right now on the calculator. Kenoshi, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
You haven't said anything. Okay, so basically, the first game was an 85. That's a solid B. All right. It's not a great B. It's not a terrible B. It's a solid B. Super Paper Mario 64. Sorry, Paper Mario on the 64. Solid B game. Thousand Year Door, which considered by a lot of the fans of the franchise, is the best game in the series. Let's say it's not
the lowest selling.
It's not a plus A. Yeah, but you can't equate sales as making something great. Because here's the thing, Madden and Call of Duty sell gangbusters. Those are shit games.
I know. I'm just letting you know that if anything, this is something to keep in mind because Kenoshi mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, so then we get 85, which is a B, and then plus a 93. A 93 is a solid A. It's not a great A. It's not an A minus. It's just a solid A. Now 85 plus 93, that's pretty good. Then they did Super Paper Mario. That's like an 80 game. Okay?
And it is a weird one because you're basically platforming mostly instead of doing the usual RPGs.
Yeah, but you do have party members, something that Sticker Star and Color Splash did not have. So
I'm not denying that one,
and you do level up, and the story is fuck tons better than what you had in Sticker Star and Color Splash. So
yeah.
So then so we've got an 8. So right now we've got 85, B, an A, and a C. A high C, but a C nonetheless. Okay. So then let's add Sticker Star. Sticker Star is a 0. Sticker Star gets nothing but a fucking 0 because it's a piece of shit. Fuck that game. And then let's add Color Splash. And I'm going to give Color Splash a 79, 78. It's not great. It's better than Color Splash. I mean, it's better than Sticker Star, but it's not like... Let me put it this way. I didn't bust down my door to go get that game. All right, let me put it that way. 70, 78. And we're going to divide all of that equals 336 divided by 5, because this is how you do... it's still... Overall, this franchise is at 67.2 because of that 0 they got for Sticker Star. Right now, the Paper Mario franchise is fucking failing. It's getting an F. So, you know what? This next game better knock this shit out the park.
I was going to say that if anything, if you cut the 0 out, then at least have a higher grade, but not high... Not too high.
They don't get the 0 out because you know what? When you get graded in school or any type of endeavor,
trust me,
zeros get counted.
I know.
So you know what?
That if anything, if the 0 was cut out, at least they have a bit of a brighter hope. But since I know that it can't happen,
no. And they earned this because they're the ones who released Sticker Star. They released that fucking game. They deserve every. They deserve that L. They earned it. So right now you have a franchise that right now is failing. Statistically, it's failing. In terms of quality and RPG mechanics and fan response. So at this point, I mean, like this shit has to knock it out the park. This game has to have great story, party members, leveling up. Fuck this.
You're making a monkey's paw's wish. I'm gonna say it right now. You are making a monkey's paw's wish.
Fuck this. Fuck this disposable items for special attack stuff. Well, okay, that's subjective. But basically, whatever they do, it's gonna have to be awesome. Will it be? Who knows?
We don't have to wait long to find out.
No, we've got a little over 2 months.
which I found really interesting because it's like they announced it. It's
It's
like it's coming out a couple months later.
Yeah,
So
I think there was going to be a direct.
Nintendo,
Yeah, I think there was going to be a direct, and they were like, "Yeah, fuck it, just drop it." That's what I think.
Yeah, I think there was going to be a direct, and I, and they gave a month, a day, and a year. So it's just very unlike Nintendo when it comes to
game
game
releases.
announcements, especially bigger titles like that. I mean, no, Paper Mario isn't a huge title for.
No. I mean, Paper Mario sales-wise is up there with Metroid Prime. These are not high-selling series, but they're marquee series, if you get what I'm saying. Like, you wouldn't feel like you had a Nintendo console if you didn't have these games on the system. Because every Nintendo console has had some variation of a Paper Mario, of a Mario RPG type title on it. Starting with the SNES with Super Mario RPG, and then the N64 Paper Mario 64, then the GameCube Thousand Year Door, and then the Wii Super Paper Mario, and then the Wii U Color Splash. So I guess and we won't mention Sticker Star. It's like that fourth Indiana Jones movie. We just pretend it doesn't happen. It didn't happen.
This is from somebody that says that that still exists. Thank you very much.
I hate that movie. I hate that fourth Indiana Jones movie, so I pretend it doesn't exist. Obviously, even though I'm like trying to ignore it, it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, Mister, add that zero in because they still made it.
I mean, it's kind of like if you go on a date with a girl and she breaks wind in front of you, she's gonna pretend like that shit didn't happen. It did, but you're gonna pretend like it. She's gonna pretend like it didn't, but it did. So in this case, it's like, Nintendo shat the bed with that Sticker Star game, but maybe they can knock it out of the park with this one. Hopefully, knock on wood.
Yeah, people were not happy with that game. They weren't happy. And, I mean, my problem with Color Splash is like everything, so many recolors of various different characters.
Yeah.
They didn't characterize like the Toads and the and the Koopas and the Goombas like they did in the first two games where there were bad Goombas and there were
personally
Goombas
I think they just kind of like, I think a lot of the games that came to the Wii U, not everything, but a lot of the games, especially towards the end of that console's life cycle, it felt like they were just throwing some shit together to get it out the door, to put it on the system so people couldn't say they didn't have anything to play. But here's the thing, even when Nintendo half-asses it, typically their half-assery is still better than a lot of other companies' full-on efforts, Well,
I just think, they wanted to shake the Wii U off because it wasn't doing what they wanted it to do.
Yeah.
So,
Which is sad because, I mean, a lot of the games that are being ported over from the Wii U to the Switch version's the shittier version of the game, because those games that were built for the Wii U really work on the Wii U with the gamepad.
Well, the thing is, it's just, I know a lot of people get mad when you say that. It's like, the Wii U was a great console. I'm not saying it wasn't a great console. It just didn't do what Nintendo hoped it would do.
It wasn't selling like they wanted it to. That's okay. I mean, look, at least we got some really good games for the system, and Nintendo didn't do what Microsoft did, which basically just kind of ignored the console and just said, third parties will support the Xbox One. Yeah. That's basically what they did. So, but anyway,
we went through all the Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about Animal Crossing, but does anyone give a shit about that game? Is anyone like, Is anyone really in on it right now? Does anyone care about it right now?
I'm an Animal Crossing fan, but if anything, I'm trying to keep a leveled head, because if anything, there's always those people that are just saying, we want more Animal Crossing stuff.
I mean, I just don't care. I'm not like Animal Crossing doesn't scratch that itch for me, so I'm not like enthralled with Animal Crossing.
I was gonna say, and where's your Rune Factory?
Yeah, I'm a Harvest Moon man. So for me, the itch that Animal Crossing scratches for a lot of people, I already get that scratch with Harvest Moon. So I'm good. I'm good. Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, Stardew Valley. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need. Plus, I don't want that fucker Tom Nook giving me.
Come on, Nook. If anything, Nook got screwed over by his partner, and he.
Can I finish before you cut me off? I don't want that fucker Tom Nook giving me a loan of like 98,000 bells. And because it reminds me too much of when I well, actually, no, I had a full ride scholarship. But it reminds me of when I bought my house and I still had that loan over me, part of that loan, because my down payment didn't cover everything. Like, it reminds me of that shit.
Generous than what you've been through.
It reminds me of real life. And look, I play games to escape real life, not to, oh shit, remember when you had student loans? Oh, fuck you, Tom Nook. Fuck
you. F you, because eventually he doesn't add on to what you have to pay in order to.
No, he doesn't. That. He doesn't charge interest, which, good for him. Good for Tom Nook. Tom Nook is a better loan holder than in real life, because he doesn't charge you interest, which is actually pretty nice.
And if anything, if you want somebody that will scheme you out of your money and rob you blind, look at Red.
Who? Red who?
Red. The fox. Seriously, he sells you fake statues, sells you fake paintings, and you probably only get 100 bells for that.
He is a fox. They are clever. They are scheming bastards. I mean, come on, they're foxes. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That is their nature. Haven't you ever heard crazy like a fox, clever like a fox?
Yeah, but here's the thing. As I said, Red is a sleazier deal and salesman than Tom Nook. At least you get something genuine and honest from him.
Yeah, but that's his nature. Whereas Tom Nook, that bastard, never mind. Actually, I don't have anything against Tom Nook. It just reminds me too much about, like, Animal Crossing reminds me too much of real life. And, I play video games to escape real life, not to, emulate it. Which is weird because I like Harvest Moon, but I'm not a farmer. So, to me, that's not too much like real life. But basically, like, playing a game where you're like, hey, guess what? Hey, you just bought a house. You owe me 150,000 bells, motherfucker. I'm like, I can't. No, I can't. Can I? I mean, especially when the villager looks like a serial killer anyway.
You're the softy here, buddy.
I can't take it. It's too much. But anyway, that's I think, anyone have anything else they want to say about Animal Crossing before we move on to the next topic?
To be honest with you, I was about to ask what did Sony get into?
Just what are your guys' thoughts on the Ghost of Tsushima state of play, gameplay footage, and what are your guys' thoughts on the Unreal Engine 5 shit?
I'm gonna say this. It was a good. It was great for the eyes, but that Unreal Engine 5 stuff, that was as filling as air. But at least air has no calories or sugars.
Well, for one, it was it's a tech demo, so there wasn't really much to see. Like, everybody acting like, oh, look at this. Oh, Sony's won the console generation already. They've crushed Microsoft. I'm just like, it's a tech demo, guys. All these companies do this. Like Nintendo does this, Microsoft does this, Sony does this.
I was about to say, Sony
all the big
definitely does
engine
it.
manufacturers do this. It's not really to showcase gameplay. It's just showing the technology that these
That the game is
developers
supposed
are able to utilize. Whether they're going to utilize that technology to the fullest extent, that remains to be seen. Probably not for either technical reasons or financial reasons.
Yeah.
But it's just people need to chill. Like it's like it's their first tech demo that they've ever seen.
Yeah, they are acting like little bitches. I have to agree. But what are you gonna do?
As it pertains to the Ghost of Tsushima, the game looks kind of empty. I mean, the particle effects are cool, and
it's empty calories, isn't it?
The open worldness looks okay, but this looks a little empty. And I think the fact that enemies die in 1 or 2 hits, now that could change if you die in one to 2 hits. So
look, if I remember right, there was another game that was on for the Switch and other systems that was basically 1 hit, 1 kill.
Well, I'm one of those people. I'm not against 1 hit, 1 kill enemies, because I mean there has to be fodder enemies. There has to be enemies that go down easy. I mean that's kind of like, remember that game that Mercury Steam Castlevania reboot, where they were like, yeah, we're gonna make skeletons into tough enemies. I'm like, why? Like, no one wants every encounter to be this epic fight. Like, you need to have fodder enemies to make you feel like a badass as you get stronger throughout the game,
Yeah.
I think that's what the Three Kingdoms games are usually.
Cheat activated.
Well, just every RPG, there needs to be fodder enemies who are kind of a joke, Like,
yeah,
it's like,
I think those might have been early enemies in the game, but I don't know. It's I'm definitely gonna probably have to see a little bit more of it. I saw a couple of the clips that they posted on YouTube, but
I don't know.
It looks kind of interesting, but I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe when it comes out, because it's just weird that you're running across the field, and you only see like a single bird or something like that, or you don't really see a lot of wildlife like you do in
Cheat
other
activated.
open world
Cheat
games
activated.
like Witcher 3 or
Cheat
Breath
activated.
of the Wild.
yeah, I mean, it looked interesting to me, but I could see where people might be, not impressed, because everyone has their opinion.
I mean, maybe the reason it's kind of empty because they're going for that moody sort of samurai story.
Yeah.
It's based off of samurai, so they're going for that moody sort of, because aren't usually samurai stories pretty depressing?
Yeah, they do not have happy endings. Samurai stories do not have happy endings. People die horrifically.
I was about to say, most of them die by somebody cutting off their heads. Or worse.
Yeah, that happens a lot. There are a lot of people committing seppuku. It's pretty dark. It's pretty.
Deep.
It's pretty dark. It's pretty messed up. A lot of messed up stuff going on. I mean, if you can handle it, it's not for everybody, but if you can handle it, it's not that bad. But it's pretty messed up. It's.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's interesting that they're going in a, because it's made by Sucker Punch. They're going in a radically new direction, compared to the infamous games. So.
I mean that we know of, because I mean this game could have some infamous stuff in the makeup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, I hope it turns out. I hope it turns out to be halfway decent.
Yeah. You know. I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't like. I want Sucker Punch. I want Sony to have good games on their system. I don't want any system to not have good games on it, so that the people who buy those systems feel happy with their system.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't want people to get suckered in by bullshit, because that happens a lot, you know, in gaming, where people get suckered in by bullshit. And that's not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We see that a lot in the industry right now, where people get suckered in with bullshit, you know, with like that Unreal 5 demo. They're like, well, this is using movie assets. Do you realize that a game using those assets would be like 400 gigs?
I was about to say, that is the reason why I'm one for gameplay over graphics.
Because... Oh no, I wouldn't be against a 400 gig game if you had like living, breathing cities that actually felt like cities, that had like thousands of inhabitants.
Yeah, I was saying that if your graphics high, like some of these people that are stroking their third sword over how a game looks.
Yeah.
Then what the beep are you doing with all those graphics?
Well, I mean that's what I was saying. I mean, if you're gonna use graphics in order to enhance gameplay, like I said, if you're gonna have a city where you're basically rendering a city where there's tons of detail, where you can see a skyscraper, where you can see individual windows in the skyscraper, where you can see people in the windows on a skyscraper in multiple levels with some level of detail like you'd have in the real world. Wow, that's amazing what you've managed to do, but I don't think they're going to do that, do you?
No, I mean, can you think of it? I mean, that would be cool for a GTA game to have that level of detail where you run into a person, say you like kill a person for their money, or you kill a prostitute for their money. Somebody sees that and remembers it, and then you run into them again. It's like, hey, that's the man who murdered that prostitute, or murdered my girlfriend, or something like that. Like, I'm gonna
get you because you killed my girlfriend. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Could you imagine an open world game where, like, an open world single player RPG, but it's literally open world, where you can recruit any NPC you wanted, like that farmer who used to be a former soldier who's got a bad leg because it was injured in the war. You can recruit his ass. And you can do a series of side quests where he finds out his former unit was massacred because they saw something that they shouldn't have seen, and now you've got to save his life and his family, and it winds up bringing down a noble family. Like, that'd be awesome. Are they gonna do that with this technology? Fuck no.
No.
I was about to say, I thought you would go with, oh, hell.
No, they ain't doing that shit. None of that is gonna happen.
None of that game.
We're not gonna see this technology until 2021, and even when we see it, it's not gonna be anywhere near the fidelity of what we saw in that tech demo.
Nope.
Because think about it. I mean, while they did show off a lot, there wasn't really all that much happening in the tech demo. It was just,
I was about to say, it's fluff.
It was just one woman walking through a cave. So it's not like you had other characters, a ton of particle effects. All that stuff adds up.
I agree. So, like I said, I think it's all bullshit. I think this is all window dressing to try and make it seem like, oh man, Isn't that cool? Isn't that shit cool? No.
Well, I mean, you know, let's go back to Nintendo and that bird and fish demo they had with the Wii U, where
Yep.
you know that Zelda Twilight Princess with the Wii U as well. I mean, it wasn't really much to look at. It was just
it was a proof of concept.
Yeah.
It literally was just proof of concept. Not that I have anything against that. I'm not like, oh my god, how dare they do proof of concept? Because anyone who's done a project in the real world knows that when you have to do a project, that you do have to do a proof of concept before they typically will let you go on with it. You know,
Yeah.
like you don't just we're gonna do this. No, there's more to it than that.
No, it's just it doesn't bother me that they're doing this, and but it's just what bugs me is how people react to it.
Yeah.
It's just like you guys are being ridiculous. I don't know if you guys just were born yesterday when it comes, but you know these companies have been doing this whole tech demo stuff for years.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
ask the people whose hearts were broken when they saw the Legend of Zelda demo and Wind Waker came out.
yeah. They were like, "Oh man, that's so fucking awesome!" Or that 101 Mario's. Remember that?
Yeah.
So people need to calm the fuck down. That's what they need to do. Calm the fuck down and stop acting like children.
I was about to say, don't act like cats, which are always distracted by something shiny.
Oh my god, or small babies. Oh my god, look at that shit. Yeah, so what you trying to say? But anyway, that's my own personal opinion. I know some people will disagree because everyone always disagrees because everyone has an opinion, as we all know.
Everybody has two things in common. Everyone has an A, and everybody has an opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Like we say, everyone like assholes are like opinions. Everyone has one. All right, or you should. Let something horrific happen to you.
Thank you for the image.
Yeah. So with that being said, I guess we can move on to the next topic, which is
what we didn't cover Wednesday.
Yeah. What we didn't cover Wednesday, which is scrolling down to my notes. What's a GameCube game that you think needs a sequel? And since Jewel went first last time, we'll let Kenoshi go first. Kenoshi, what's a GameCube game that you played and you were like, wow, this is a really good game. It needs a sequel.
Shoot, trying to think of all the anything. Probably F-Zero. I'm just gonna go with the generic answer.
Okay.
F-Zero or that one game I had a short time with. I forgot what it's called, but it's about a mad scientist. He can turn into like different creatures.
Dr. Muto?
Dr. Muto, yeah. That was a decent game. At least at the time that I played it.
All right.
I didn't get too far in
Had a decent gameplay concept.
Yeah. It's kind of like had some elements of Banjo-Kazooie where you could turn into different animals, solve various different puzzles for different creatures. So yeah, either F-Zero or Dr. Muto.
All right. Joel?
This is a tough one for me, but then again, I'm probably gonna be given weird looks for a bit. Sonic Adventure 3, which would be a sequel to Sonic Adventure 2, or at least Soul Calibur.
So you'd want another Soul Calibur game, kind of like Soul Calibur 2?
Yes.
All right. All right. I can't get mad. I like Soul Calibur too, so I think that's one of the better Soul Caliburs.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna get odd looks for the Sonic one.
I mean, look, listen. I would say that Sonic Adventure, not Sonic. I would say Sonic Heroes. Sorry, Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure 2 were on the GameCube.
Yeah, I think both of those games were much better than Sonic Adventure on the DX. So since you guys went with, well, Kenoshi went with 2 games. I guess I'll go with 2 games. I would say Skies of Arcadia. Skies of Arcadia definitely needs a sequel. And I would say that the second GameCube game that I think definitely needs a sequel is a game called Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Oh
yeah. It basically, like, generally speaking, when someone says, "Oh, it's a comic book game," you're gonna think, "Oh, it's some stupid bullshit." But incredible.
I was gonna say that there's some rare occasions where a game based on a different franchise actually works.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction is actually really good. It's basically like, think Spider-Man 2, except instead of you being Spider-Man and trying to save people and not hurt people, you're the Incredible Hulk beating the shit out of everything and everybody. There's destructible buildings in the game that you can basically
wreck house,
destroy, and you actually get bennies for destroying shit. Like, it's in your interest to destroy buildings because throughout the course of the game you can collect these gamma. I forget the number, but these gamma isotopes. That you can basically use to unlock better like skins and make the Hulk more powerful, unlock new abilities, special attacks, that type of thing. It's a good game. It's appropriately violent. I mean, any game that lets you play as the Incredible Hulk beating the shit out of people is pretty good. This is the game that basically gave us Hulk, where he could basically take a car and you could
turn it into gloves.
Turn into boxing gloves. You could grind on a truck as like a skateboard.
You can use the truck as a skateboard.
Yeah.
Well, cars is boxing gloves.
Cars is boxing. You could punch. Initially, you could dodge missiles, but then you could get an upgrade where you could punch them back. And you could unlock various things that will let you do shit like if you're playing as the Hulk, you could unlock different versions of the Incredible Hulk. So you could have like Joe Fixit. You could have like Hulk with different shorts on. You could have classic Gray Hulk. You could have the Abomination. You could have Savage Banner, which is where Bruce Banner basically had Jean Grey during one of the events in Marvel's comics basically switch out his reverse his transformation. So when he got angry, like when he was normal, he'd be Professor Hulk. But when he got angry as Professor Hulk, he'd revert into a weak but really pissed off, hulked out Banner. So he couldn't hurt anybody. He'd just be savage.
That honestly was a interestingly odd moment.
Yeah, I mean, I like stuff like that.
Seeing a scrawny Hulk in a sense.
Yeah. It was a pretty good game. I liked it. It was appropriately violent. I mean, it's the Incredible Hulk, so obviously it's going to be violent. But Yeah, I would love a sequel to that game. The Sega got the rights to the Incredible Hulk and made like kinda sorta a sequel called it was based on that shitty Edward Norton movie.
It was that terrible.
Well, the game was bad and the movie was bad too, so it was
oof.
Just a lot of bad. But yeah, I like the GameCube. I'm not saying it's the best console ever. I'm just saying that I like it. And bar none, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think that I would have to say that I think that the GameCube has my favorite controller.
Yeah, I think the GameCube controller, it's a controller I can go back to.
It had my favorite controller on the of the 6th gen. Like I can still go back and use that controller, and I still enjoy using that controller. I can't say the same thing with a PS2 controller. I've never wanted to go back and use a PS2 controller.
Yeah, that controller was a bit too light.
You know, I know some people. Oh, but I like. Dang it, Bobby! But I like the PS2 controller. Well, good for you. It was fine for its time, but it's not like, oh my god, this was the best shit ever. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
But that's just me. What are your guys' thoughts? Any other games, since we were talking about games that like GameCube games were like, man, that was a really good game. Why was there never a sequel?
If I think backwards, I do have one more, and it's probably the weird one.
Okay, go ahead.
Or at least weird because it's not football to you.
Mario Strikers? Well, I mean,
at the same time.
I'm not a big soccer person, but if you like it, you like it. You know.
I was saying that if anything, the last Strikers game, or at least any big sports games, were about 2 gens removed. As in, the last big generation of those games were on the Wii.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't terrible, but they weren't like, oh my god, this is the best shit ever.
Yeah, but I consider them a good classic game that could be an alternative to the mini games collections.
Yeah, you know, I mean, to each his own. I'm not gonna get mad because someone likes something I don't like, unless it's like something where I'm like, oh my god, this person.
Trust me, if you ever go trash, you're gonna get your aunt blasted for it.
You're gonna get blasted for it. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's, you know, to each his own. All right, so I think we've exhausted that topic. What's a game or franchise you want to get into but you just can't? Like, people said, man, I like this game, and they're like, they hyped it up to you, and you tried to get into it, and you're just like, I can't. It's too much.
I got a pair.
Okay.
One is the Romance of the Three Kingdoms like games, or the Dynasty Warriors, as people know it as, because they say it's complex, and yet all I see is tap the square button, baby.
Fair enough.
And go ahead.
No, you can finish up.
Okay, the other one is oddly an RPG. It's the Cydia series, really, where you play as the Lord of the Underworld, gathering up your demons, kicking good guy rear end, and buffing up your weapons by going into dungeons that are based on the weapons.
You mean Disgaea?
Thank you. I was trying to get it right.
Because Dissidia is that crappy Square Enix RPG where they just, you know, it's basically like Kingdom Hearts crossed with Final Fantasy, but into a beat 'em up. Oh, actually, no, it basically is like a Kingdom Heartsified RPG. Yeah. I was trying to use adjectives to describe it, but it's just like Kingdom Hearts. I was like, yeah, wait, it is Kingdom Hearts.
Actually, the city I call it Kingdom Hearts pushed into a fighting game and sprinkled with power-ups.
Basically, yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't like it.
Now you could probably use a lot of those characters to make a fighting game. But
Square Enix tried with what was the name of that piece of shit back in the day? Energize, God Bless the Ring.
Oh!
I actually had that game. The concept of it was actually pretty cool. It was a fighting game that had beat 'em up elements. So like it had it was a fighting game that had RPG elements. So like you could level up, gain new skills and abilities, all that type of stuff. You could go into a dungeon.
Whenever I hear that game, I have a cringe syndrome, because as much as I tried to get into that game, oh god, that was a mess to even get through the menus with.
What game was this again?
Energize, God Bless the Ring. It basically was Square Enix trying to leverage Final Fantasy VII. Because
they had several of their characters in there too.
Yeah, one of the big things about it was that it had Cloud Strife in it.
Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa.
Well, I didn't know Sephiroth, but I know Cloud was in it. And that was like the big draw point, is that it had Cloud in it. Oh man, it's got Cloud. It's like, I don't really give a shit, because the game itself was pretty bad. Like, you know, the game by itself was kind of shitty. So, you know, it's as per the usual, because it's Square Enix, and they love, like, basically, this is when they still had their ass up on their shoulders, because they were like, man, Final Fantasy VII sold gangbusters, son.
All because of their marketing.
All because of that, you know, $500 million in marketing.
Yeah, how much did they actually lose on that game?
What, Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, did they lose anything, or did they?
No, they made money, but the reason it sold was because Sony put like $500 million.
Marketed to heaven.
Sony put like $250 million in marketing in that, but if you adjust for inflation for '98, that's like $500 million. I mean, if the game didn't sell well, if you put $500 million into something, it damn sure better sell well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty scary when you. It's pretty scary when you think that $500 million equals what a game's success should be.
I mean, I mean, that's my thing when I hear people say that Final Fantasy VII is a good Final Fantasy game. Like, do you think it's good because it's actually good, or were you persuaded by marketing? That's my only real gripe with that game, is that, like, is it good because it's good, or is it good because it was marketed?
Yeah, and you know me, Red, that I actually enjoyed the battle system of 7, basically. And you reminded me that it was about 6's battle system upgraded in a sense.
I wouldn't even say upgraded. It's basically Final Fantasy VII is basically Final Fantasy VI with better graphics, or at least 3D graphics, because I don't consider the graphics of Final Fantasy VII to be good at all. But
it was workable with the time.
Yeah, but I mean, those graphics have aged poorly, whereas Final Fantasy VI's graphics, because they're pixelized, have aged a lot better because it's pixelized. It didn't age as poorly. But Final Fantasy VII, I mean, god damn, that game does not look good. And I know some people say, well, that's because it was originally designed to be put on the PS1. on the N64. I'm like, look, there are games on the N64 that look better than Final Fantasy VII. So don't hit me with that shit.
And that's 3D graphics wise.
Yeah.
Not 2D, 3D.
So the argument that it was the 5th gen is not an argument. It's not a valid argument. Because there were 5th gen games that looked better than what was on than the bellwether games, the marquee titles that were on that system. So I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. God damn
it. Now, before we get into the other to the other stuff, Red, do you have your thing, or do you want to head on into things that will keep you up at night?
Yeah, I do have a game that a franchise that people say you need to get into that I just can't get into. Terraria and Starbound.
Terraria I could get because it feels like you're playing a 2D version of Minecraft.
Yeah, I don't like Minecraft. I don't like games where I have to build things. I mean, where I have to they're like, oh, you can create your own fun. It's like, look, motherfucker.
If anything, there's certain games that do not jive, and maker games are usually one of them for you.
Yeah, for me, it's like, look, I did not pay $60 for this game. The reason I paid money for this game is because I cannot program shit myself, and I don't feel like making my own stuff. So why in the world would you tell me to make my own like that? I really don't like that. I'm really offended when people when gamers do when developers do that. Like, oh, you can make your own levels. No, stop with that shit.
I mean, the only ones that I actually would accept in a sense would be RPG makers.
Yeah.
And that you can actually put your own story in, make some crude humor, put in some fighting mechanics.
I'm gonna keep it real. The only reason I like RPG Maker is because I'm an RPG fanboy. But when it comes to other things, I'm just not into it. I'm just really not into it. And plus, it's really easy to use RPG Maker. Well, it's easy to use RPG Maker 2000 and 2003. Maybe XP, but after that, it gets needlessly complex. But you know, it's a personal thing. But yeah, the Maker games, Minecraft, even some of the more popular Maker games, I'm not really into. Like, I don't give a shit about
Mario Maker.
Yeah, Mario Maker. Like Mario Maker, am I the only one who got mad at Mario Maker 2?
To be honest with you, I was looking at Mario Maker 2 like, huh?
Like, am I the only one? Like, they're like people are like, hey, now you can make the same levels as Super Mario World. But then you look at the assets they have in that game, and you still can't make the same. It's still not the same assets as Super Mario World. The Bowser model is trash. Yeah, I said it.
The Bowser model, have they looked at a mirror lately?
The Bowser model, the model they have for Bowser in Super Mario Maker looks like he looks like he's got to take a shit, but he can't quite make it to the bathroom. He's like, oh, please don't let me take a shit, please. I can't shit on myself, please, Jesus.
I was about to say, in Mario 3 and the Super, oh God, those sprites, yeah, can give you nightmares.
It's not good. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Mario Maker. Now, a friend of the channel, he loves that game, but I just can't. I can't do it. I can't. I don't like Mario Maker. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the character models. I don't like the fact that they still haven't given us Super Mario Brothers 2. Yeah, they gave us some assets for Super Mario Brothers 2, but it's like people are acting like, oh, it was impossible for them to do. Okay, maybe with the original Super Mario Brothers, because they didn't want to spend. I mean, Super Mario Maker, because they didn't want to spend like a ton of money, you know, putting it on the Wii U. I gotta understand that, okay? Because they had, they could only spend so much money on that game, on that system, for stuff. But this shit, as it is right now, it's too much. Super Mario Maker is a poor example of it's a poor replacement for a 2D Mario game.
I say the games that I can't get into, but everybody else likes. I'd have to say probably the Witcher series. I respect what those games do, but I can't really get into those.
Toss a coin for the Witcher. Yeah, I have to agree. I'm not really into the Witcher either. I mean, I appreciate what CD Projekt Red was able to do, and as someone who pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077, I'm really appreciating what they were able to do and all that shit. But as far as that game goes, I'm not like The Witcher. And here's the thing: I have The Witcher. I have the Game of the Year Ultimate Edition with all the little extra stuff, but I'm not feeling it, I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah. And I'd say the Uncharted franchise, because that just, I like 2, but other than that, I'm pretty much had my fill of that series, and anything after or before that, I just don't really care.
You're not feeling it. Yeah.
And let's see. I like the Metroid Prime games, but I'm not as hot about them as other people might be. I still like the 2D ones more than the first-person games. The first-person games are not bad by any means.
Okay.
I'm just not into them as much as other people are.
I could see that. I mean, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, you don't like it? I'm like, yeah, okay. All right. I'm not going to get mad at you because you don't like it. Unlike some people, it's like, you don't like it? Okay. But yeah, I'm not into builder games. I'm not into games where people are like, well, you can make your own fun. It's like, look, I did not pay you however much this game costs to make my own fun, all right? I paid you to make the damn game yourself and then sell it to me and I'd play it. Yeah. So now we're at what is our worst gaming nightmare. Before we go into ours, I'll give Dragon Sword, because he left his in the chat section, his worst gaming nightmare, which is looking increasingly likely to be true if things keep happening the way they are going, is that Nintendo's next home console's financial success or image is comparable to the Wii U's or worse, and after that they decide to be out of the home console business specifically, and Sony goes bankrupt. If that comes to pass, pretty much he becomes a retro gamer then, and only looks forward to the future Legends of Heroes Trails games. So that's his worst nightmare. What's yours, Joel?
So, you said what would be my gaming nightmare?
What would be your gaming nightmare?
Oh boy. Basically, seeing the worst game, seeing something like All the Bravest come to a console game. I mean, become a console game, which heaven forbid help us all for that. And basically, Nintendo going out of business.
All right. Kenoshi?
I guess the worst case scenario is if there's only one console manufacturer in the business and nobody to hold you accountable for their actions. I mean, because most people aren't gonna. If there's one console manufacturer, I don't think most people are gonna rush out and build a PC.
That's true. I mean, they'll probably buy one, but they won't build one.
Yeah. But for oversaturation, which, I feel like they've gotten a little bit better with variety over the past few years, but there was that scare, at least during the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, where there's an oversaturation of games like first and third person shooters. But oversaturation of one genre.
Yeah, I could see that. I wouldn't want that to happen, but what are you gonna do? So I guess it's I don't know. Both of you said yours. Okay, my ultimate the thing that would basically just ruin it for me in terms of gaming. My gaming worst nightmare. My gaming worst nightmare. I'm gonna pair it what Kanoshi said, which is I would hate to see Nintendo or Sony particularly leave the market, because like Nintendo for the longest time has pretty much been the only thing really pushing the industry forward in terms of innovation. Like I think that if you have an industry where you don't have at least one of the three innovating and pushing the industry forward, you get stagnation. And like, I mean, I'm gonna say it right now. I think that the 9th gen / 8th gen for Sony and Microsoft has been an era of stagnation. Like no one's really been pushing the industry forward this generation. I mean, they're doubling down on graphics, but I mean, like every console generation, we've had better graphics. Like no one else has done anything to really push things forward, and that's kind of bothering me in terms of gaming. That's just me.
Yeah.
So for me, which I guess an addendum to my worst gaming nightmare is that if Nintendo were to stop being innovative and pushing the industry forward, that would be kind of my thing that would bother me. All right then. So our last topic. What is your most hyped game that wasn't even close to fulfilling the hype? Like you bought into it. You're like, man, this is gonna be awesome. And then the game came out. And you're like, this is shit.
Dragon Ball Z Evolution. I remember being excited to pick that game up, and then I got it, and it turned out to be a complete another pile of shit.
Dookie.
Yeah,
it was Dookie.
Because I thought, oh man, a console RPG, Dragon Ball RPG, that could be interesting. And then picked it up. Nope. It was absolute trash.
Yeah, I remember. I rented that game, and I felt cheated when it came out because I was like, this could be awesome, and it turned out to be absolute trash. I was so mad.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, Red?
I don't know. I guess the closest I can go with that is I want to say Final Fantasy VII.
What was it, Final Fantasy VII?
Final Fantasy VII was the game that was really hyped up, like everyone's like, man, this is gonna be the shit. This is gonna be the best shit ever. And I played it, and I'm like, this is it?
Yeah.
This is.
This is all you have to offer me?
This is what you get, because remember, like, this is someone who basically was like I was playing the shit out of games like this is someone who's like a major Final Fantasy fan. So I had played the first Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 4 and 5 and 6. Like major Final Fantasy fan, and then I finally get to 7. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And it's just it's basically like the story isn't as good as Final Fantasy 7. I mean, Final Fantasy 7's story isn't as good as Final Fantasy 6. The villain to me isn't as good as Final Fantasy 6's villain. Like Sephiroth, everyone's like, Sephiroth's so badass. Is he? I mean, I think Kefka was a way more interesting villain, but that's just me. It's just kind of meh to me, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I know some people will disagree, and that's okay. You know, we live in a world where people are allowed to disagree. So with that being said, that's the end of our topics. None of our viewers have left us any topic suggestions, so
that's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, sometimes we get very vocal viewers who leave a lot of suggestions. Sometimes we don't. So, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah. With that being said, anything else you guys want to bring up before we wrap things up?
The Doom Denuvo.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The Denuvo.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna say this: making protection is good. But putting protect in a spot that shouldn't is just asking for a hit.
Well, not to mention that Denuvo is notorious for basically messing with the performance of your games. Like it messes with the performance of your games. Like I was playing I noticed that despite the specifications of my PC being at a certain level, like I should have been able to run Borderlands 3 at a higher rate, but it was struggling at certain points, and I was like, why is this doing this? Because I mean, nothing else, like it meets the qualifications for like mid-tier high-end. No,
yeah,
it was Denuvo. Because basically Denuvo checks that the code is running, that the code that you're running isn't hacked code, like it's sanctioned code. And it just it checks with the internet. So RAM that should be going towards making sure your game is running is being diverted to run this backwards process, and it messes up your stuff. Now, before you console people are like, oh, look.
I was about to say that
console games have anti-piracy software in them too, so don't act like you're immune to this bullshit.
I was about to say that I'm at least glad I don't have to deal with Denuvo. As long as I don't touch that kind of, touch that kind of BS, I'll be safe.
Yeah, mostly it hits. Denuvo mostly hits third-party games, so you'll see it even on since the 7th gen, even third-party console games. They'll hit it with that. So you know, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know why people are surprised because it's Bethesda. And Bethesda just can't help fucking up, you know. Bethesda, if the video game industry was a sitcom, Bethesda would be that guy who would be that character who every time they interact with the main characters, they're fucking up. You know, if they were in Family Matters, they'd be Waldo, Geraldo, Faldo. You know.
Yeah, they're always messing up something.
You know, they'd be Kramer if it was Seinfeld. They'd be, let's see, who's a, you know, The Simpsons. You know, Honest Gill, like that sad sack who just, he's always like, Honest Gill needs a sale. Come on, you know. Like he just can never, like he goes, like he, every time you see him, he's always in a worse situation than he was the last time you saw him. Like he's on a permanent downward trajectory. That's Bethesda. They just can't help fucking up. They can't. They, you know. They can't stop themselves, you know.
And this is the same crew that they gave us Fallout and Skyrim.
Yeah, they gave us Fallout 76, Fallout 4, and Skyrim, which all three of those games were heavily broken at launch. So
I'm asking that because people say that those are the best games of Bethesda, and yet they are doing this.
Well, Bethesda's games can be fun if you wait about a year after they come out and the modding community has time to polish them up for Bethesda, which is amazing. Look, listen, if I could trick people, if I could release a game and trick people to fix my game for free and then make it sell and add extra content that I should be adding as the person who put out the game for free, it's a great business model. Listen, I might not like the end result. I might not like the business model itself. I might hate Bethesda, but I can't knock the game. The player, I might not like the player, but the game, I mean, it's solid.
Yeah, you got people, so you suckered people in. So
I mean, if you have a product that you can get dumbasses to buy, and then get other dumbasses to fix because you couldn't be bothered to actually make it run well, and they can do all of this, like the people who buy it regardless of the fact, knowing that it's a broken piece of shit, and the people who fix it for free. You don't pay them a damn thing and they fix your shit. That is a great business. I mean, it's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
I was about to say, where's the song where I need it? That it just works, it just works. Oh God, that song's now stuck in my head again.
I mean, they're brilliant. I mean, I wish, as a business owner, could you imagine going to a restaurant where you pay to go in there, and then you pay, let's say you go to a fine steak restaurant, right? And they're like, okay, you're gonna get our main thing, which is steak, 2 side dishes, a drink, and dessert, and an appetizer. And they fuck up your entire order. And then you come in.
Order so much that you have to go in.
You got to go into the kitchen and fix your own shit. But you paid for it. Like, you paid to go and fix your own shit. Or even better, you actually go to the table next to you, where someone's like, "Hey, they fucked up your order. Don't worry. Look, I'll take it to my house and fix it for you." It's like, but I paid them to fix it. I mean, it's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
Only in video game. Only in the gaming industry is that acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other industry where you could sell someone a product and have it be fundamentally unfinished. And people are like, yeah,
like millions.
I mean, would you buy a laptop where they're like, Jewel, I'm pretty sure you might not be heavily into PCs, but I'm pretty sure at some point,
trust me, I can hear where you're going with this.
No, but I'm pretty sure at some point you might, or even now might need a tablet or a laptop or something, right? Would you buy a laptop where you're like, oh, I got a new laptop, it's in the box, it's brand new, and you pull it out the box, you open it, you turn it on, and they're like, oh wait, no, this laptop doesn't have a hard drive. Like, what the fuck is this shit? And then your neighbor knocks on your door, he's like, hey, I can fix that for you. Why are you fixing this? The people who sold me this shit need to fix this.
Yeah. Yeah, you could hear expletives coming out of my mouth from that kind of stunt.
Yeah, that's Bethesda. That's
and
Bethesda.
yet somehow it works.
And yes, look, listen. If you buy a Bethesda game at launch, you are a dumbass. All right, because like I remember hearing this guy on PC Gamer, because I'm a PC gamer. I have a lot of games on PC. And I go there and I'm like, this guy's like, yeah, I bought Fallout 4 at launch. I'm like, why? Why would you look? As someone who plays a lot of Bethesda games, I would tell anyone this: you don't buy Bethesda games at launch ever. You wait like a year, 18 months, 2 years, then you get a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
Because day one, it's gonna be fucked up.
I was going to say, day one, I thought it was minute one.
Day one. Bethesda games are always fucked up. I've never seen a Bethesda game that day one was not. And I don't mean the games they're publishing. I mean games made by Bethesda. I've never seen a day one Bethesda game that wasn't a broken piece of shit. Day one. Like every game they've come out with has had major issues. Elder Scrolls 1, the first Elder Scrolls game, had major issues. Elder Scrolls 2 had issues. Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind. That game is the most technically competent game they had. It still could crash on you. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. There are bugs on vanilla Elder Scrolls Oblivion that still exist today. And that's a game from... Shit. Let me look that up. Elder Scrolls Oblivion... Elder Scrolls 4. It came out in 2006, so that's a 14-year-old game. The vanilla version of Elder Scrolls 6 Elder Scrolls 4 still has bugs in it. Still, a 14-year-old game.
And that is the game of the year?
Still a broken piece of shit. Elder Scrolls, vanilla, like basically Bethesda doesn't make games that run well. They can't do it. They just like if you put a gun to their head and said, "Make this game so that it's not broken." They can't. They're like someone who's a pervert who can't help doing perverted shit. It's like they can't stop themselves. They have to be perverted. So, I mean, I feel sorry for him. I'm not happy about it, but what are you gonna do?
The only thing that you can do otherwise is, well, keep from buying it.
Yep, it's the only thing you can do. Just keep from buying it. But I mean, Bethesda has a loyal fan base who will, like, literally, Bethesda could shit in a box and label it as it's Elder Scrolls 6, and people will buy it because it's Elder Scrolls 6. So, what are you gonna do? So I'm not. So basically, to get back to your point, Kenoshi, I'm not surprised that Bethesda fucked it up because, it's Bethesda. They can't help themselves.
Yeah. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's what they do. It's like, oh, we fucked this up. Yeah, it's Bethesda. That's what we do. We fucked it up. Yeah, we're Bethesda. What were you expecting? Competency?
Apparently, the game right now is getting review bombed because of the Nova stuff. So,
I'm like, why are you putting anti-piracy software on your shit though? I mean, like Doom Eternal was gonna sell regardless.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
People were gonna buy it no matter what because people liked the last game. So why are you putting anti-piracy software on the shit?
Yeah, latest update forces you to install the Lenovo anti-cheat, and extremely dodgy, on Windows service with full access to your PC. Many antivirus programs rightly detect it as a virus. So even if you have antivirus software on your computer, it'll detect it as a virus.
And it rightly should.
Yeah, this is how badly it was optimized. I mean, essentially what it sounds like, it's spyware. It's like, they implemented spyware in their game. Steam is a spyware game on their platform.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
But Bethesda. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we've exhausted everything. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
I'm mostly set.
All right. Kenoshi?
I may or may not. Yeah, I've been talking about this. I just haven't been able to get the motivation to do it. But tomorrow afternoon, probably around 5, 6 o'clock Eastern time, I might do a gaming stream. So I'm just trying to figure out. a decent time to do it.
Oh.
All right.
A game stream.
Well, I got nothing but time, so if you do one, just send me a thing and I'll look at it.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS
Busters. Don't forget, he's got email, he's got Twitter, he's got Discord.
Yeah, and I have some new stuff coming up. I will probably try to do a Twitch gameplay stream sometime this week. It'll probably be like at the most like 30 minutes to an hour, nothing really long. Look forward to that shit if it comes out. I also am planning on doing a video where I'm gonna get back to reviewing video games. I think I'll review the Hunt Down, which is new game, came out for the Switch and PC and other stuff. It's basically a 2D shooter where you go around mowing motherfuckers down. It's actually pretty fun. So yeah, look forward to that. You can reach me at well, let me make sure I got the right thing. You can reach me at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com. That's all lowercase, even though on the thing it's all uppercase. It's all lowercase. Or at Twitter at Matthew Wesley at mrredfox91. That's also all lowercase. So that's the end of the podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, good night, and
hype responsibly.
Yeah,
don't forget to wash your beeping hands.
Please.